Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 weird products made by famous companies. We all know giant companies and what they make. For example, we all know that Pepsi make cola and Evian make water. But sometimes these brands try and experiment with different bizarre products. From Colgate to Hooters, here are some famous brands who made some weird products. But first, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too? Coming in at number 10, we have Pepsi. What do you mean you don't have Coke? Pepsi is most people's second favorite cola brand. But despite not being as big as Coke, Pepsi still sell over $9 billion worth of their drink every year. Meaning, of course, that Pepsi is super famous in over 190 countries for their cola drink. They're known for mixing things up a bit, sometimes releasing limited edition drinks like cake flavor that they released a few days ago. But what many people might not know is that in November of 2015, Pepsi made two cell phones. No, I'm not joking. They were both Android phones and were named Pepsi P1 and Pepsi P1S. They were initially released in China, but were also made available in the USA for a brief amount of time. Unsurprisingly, many people were confused seeing a soft drink brand on a cell phone. The phone wasn't anything special and didn't have great specs, and it definitely didn't taste as good as Pepsi. But if you want to try this phone out, good news, you can buy one for about $100 online. Would you rather have one iPhone X or 10 Pepsi phones? Next up is Cheetos. Cheetos are known for making delicious, cheesy, and messy chips. Cheetos are so nice that some people even like the taste they leave on your lips after you eat them. So Cheetos decided to try and cash in on this by creating Cheetos Lip Balm. It sounds like some kind of joke, but no, Cheetos really thought people would want to have their faces smelling of cheese. Just imagine going in for a kiss on your first date and having your partner's lips smelling of cheese. Not only did the lip balm taste cheesy, it also had a bit of a kick to it. The lip balm was designed to make the person who wore its lips tang a little, thanks to the hot flavor of Cheetos. They marketed it as a more manly lip balm. However, it's no surprise this didn't take off. And some people even tried eating the lip balm thinking it was just Cheetos in the shape of a lip balm. It may not have sold a lot, but some people even today said it did a great job of repairing their lips. But sadly, there are no more Cheetos lip balms up for sale online. Next up is Bic. Bic are known for making disposable things. They're famous for their throwaway lighters, pens, and razors. But a few years back, they decided to try and make something else. That being disposable underwear. Unless you're very rich, you probably wash and rewear your underwear because they can cost anywhere from $6 to $20 a pair. However, Bic had the idea of making cheap underwear that could be thrown away. Kind of like how instead of making expensive Zippos, they make cheap lighters that run out fast. However, this really doesn't transfer onto underwear. People weren't interested in the idea of having to buy at least 365 pairs of underwear a year. This would have cost around $500, which is probably what more than most people spend on underwear in the first place. Bic's strategy of remaking things cheaply in a disposable way worked when they expanded from pens to lighters and razors. However, this didn't work at all for their underwear, and now there are no more pairs of Bic disposable underwear left to buy. And no, it's not because they sold out by popular demand, it's because they were discontinued. Next up is Hooters. We all know Hooters as a restaurant kids should probably not go to. They're known for their orange colors, the Hootie the Owl mascot, and Hooters girls. But in 2003, they wanted to be known for something else: air travel. In March of 2003, the restaurant set up their own airline called Hooters Air. The planes were large and orange, and on every flight were two Hooters girls. Yeah, just what you want your family to see before you go on vacation. They only bought 7 planes in the time the airline was running, but that would have still cost them at least $1.1 billion. But it's unlikely they made this money back, as their flights were very cheap, costing about $50. The airline was in operation for a grand total of 3 years, ceasing operations in 2006. It seems people like seeing Hooters girls when they're eating, but not when they're flying. Would you take a flight with Hooters Air? I'd love to see Casey Neistat try and review that. Next up, we have Dr. Pepper. We've already covered how Pepsi tried to branch out into other odd products, but it looks like they're not the only soft drink who decided to make a new odd product. This one makes a little more sense than the Pepsi phone, but it's still very odd. A few years back, Dr. Pepper, the cola-flavored cherry drink, decided to make their own barbecue sauce. Now, cola-flavored barbecue sauce would be weird on its own, but with cherry, it's just plain strange. It became a very niche thing that most people hated. However, there were a few people who really loved it. It is listed on Amazon, but it says it's permanently out of stock. But if you still want to try Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce, then have no fear, as fans of the sauce have actually made hundreds of online recipes to create this odd product. Would you try this sauce, or does it just sound too weird for you? If you wouldn't try it, then you're like most people. But you never know, some people are obsessed with this sauce, and its very unique cola cherry barbecue flavor. Yeah, I think I'll stick to ketchup. Next up is Evian. When it comes to companies selling products, water has to be one of the most boring. The French company Evian is one of the biggest water companies in the world, earning around $6 billion from their water sales each year. But in December of 2005, they made a new bizarre invention that wasn't boring at all. They created what they called a water bra. But what is a water bra, you may be asking? Well, it's actually a regular bra that can be filled with water, ideally Evian water. Who knows if this was a way to try and make people buy more water, or just a crazy idea by an Evian worker. But of course, this didn't take off, because who would want a bra filled with water? It sounds like an insane Shark Tank pitch rather than something a billion-dollar company would make. But for some reason, Evian thought this would take off with people who play sports and people who go to the gym a lot. And in case for some reason you're thinking, that sounds like a good idea, then sorry, you're out of luck, as no more of these are on sale anywhere. Next up is Colgate. You know that gross taste you get when eating anything after brushing your teeth? Well, then you'll probably cringe when I say the words Colgate brand kitchen entrees. That's right, Colgate actually made some kitchen entrees that they tried to sell a while back. The meals probably didn't taste that bad, but the association between food and toothpaste really put some people off. It would be like Marlboro coming out with bottled water. The meals were also criticized for bad marketing. They didn't make any effort to differentiate the Colgate toothpaste branding from the food, as they used the same red logo. And also, the photos of the meals look terrible and bland. These were on shelves for a grand 2 years, until they were scrapped for low sales. This has to be one of the biggest marketing fails of all time, and this is actually taught as a case study in many business schools today. The meals included things like lasagna, salmon, and something called Family Gourmet. But no matter what the food may be, nobody wants Colgate brand meals. Next up is Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson is the most famous motorcycle brand in the world. They're popular with people going through a midlife crisis, and of course typical bikers with beards, bandanas, and leather. But what isn't popular with butch bearded men is cake decorating. That is why many people were very confused when Harley-Davidson announced they would be branching out into cake decorating. They made their own cake decorating kit for people to use when somebody who loves Harley-Davidsons has a birthday. It sounds very odd, and that's because it is. Or at least, that's what many customers thought. Some bike owners were actually annoyed about the cake decorating kit, as they said the association could make them look less macho. They were only about $8, yet not many people bought them, seeing as it's so niche. Would you buy a Harley-Davidson cake decorating kit? Yeah, neither would most people. Coming up next is Frito-Lay. We all know Frito-Lay. They pretty much make every snack we eat, and they're best known for their Lay's potato chips, or Walkers if you're in the UK, and of course everyone's favorite nacho, Doritos. But one thing you'd never expect this brand to make is lemonade. For a brief time, Frito-Lay actually tried making lemonade. However, they ran into a few problems which led to this idea not taking off. Firstly, back then, not too many people drank lemonade compared to drinks like orange soda and cola. And of course, people were confused about the branding as they were so used to seeing Frito-Lay on chips instead of drinks. They wanted people to buy their salty snacks and then want to buy the refreshing lemonade to wash them down with. But the confusing brand identity caused low sales, and this to be pulled off shelves very quickly. This is one of the most notable branding fails of all time. And now you can't even find any old bottles of this stuff online to buy. However, despite not many people buying it, the people who did buy it say it was great lemonade. So really, it's a shame that Frito-Lay lemonade didn't take off. You never know, with a bit better marketing and branding, it could have been the next 7-Up or Sprite. But seeing as they make over $7 billion of half-full chip bags a year, I can't feel too sorry for them. Next up, we have Zippo. We've already covered one lighter company, Bic. But what about America's most famous and well-respected lighter company? According to statistics, most people who buy Zippos are male, which is just one of the reasons why many people were very surprised and confused when Zippo brought out their own brand of women's perfume. They decided to make some perfumes in the same design as the Zippo lighter. They probably didn't smell half bad, but of course gasoline does, and the name Zippo gave that association to the perfume. And of course gasoline is also very flammable, which caused some people to think this perfume could be dangerous to use. Would you use Zippo perfume even if it didn't smell like gasoline and wasn't that flammable? One thing's for sure, it is odd to have perfume in a Zippo lighter. But today, with all the bizarre perfume bottles out there, maybe this invention would work nowadays. But at the time, it definitely did not work, and Zippo actually lost money on this venture. But if you think this is a great idea, good news, you can still get one of these for about $20 to $30 depending on which scent you want. However, it only has a 2-star rating, so maybe you should stick to buying just lighters from Zippo for now. Just a Valentine's Day tip, guys, your girlfriend may not be too happy when she thinks you've given her a Zippo. Would you ever try this lighter perfume? Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the weirdest product made by a famous company. And guys, definitely check out my new channel, The Crafty. There's absolutely fascinating life hack videos on there you have to see. There'll be a video of The Crafty coming up on screen in a second, so click it and subscribe too. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.